Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, since you guys were so interested in that snowstorm we talked about yesterday, we're just going to go ahead and talk about it more and see what the models are showing today. I might just take this one day by day if you guys really just keep eating it up. Now, before we get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, I would also highly recommend that you check out our very awesome Patreon page. Later today, we're going to be making a model update post there for this same exact snowstorm, so if you want to get that latest information, I highly recommend you check it out. You can get it for cheaper than a Happy Meal right now. I would certainly do that. And look, if you don't like it, go ahead and cancel. All you got to do is check it out. I really hope to see you guys there. Alright, now for today's comment of the day, I want to know, what do you think the most snowfall anybody will see from this snowstorm is going to be? Give it your best guess, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, let's get right into it, and we're taking a look right now at our simulated radar here on our European model, and as you can see, this is going to be about 8 p.m. on Thursday night, so I know we're a bit far out, but this storm is becoming more and more certain. Every single model run that shows it, we're becoming, significantly more confident as we get closer and closer to this storm, to where we're almost certain there will be a snowstorm of some sort. Let's move it to about 2 a.m. on Friday, October 30th, and look at that. We're starting to see those blues show up for some higher elevation areas, the Berkshires, some of the Green Mountains, some of the Catskills, and the Adirondacks there as well. So a lot of these higher elevations areas will probably see more accumulation, obviously. That's always the case, but even more so because we're seeing it switch to snow so much earlier in this circumstance. I think elevation could have a lot to do with this storm. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on towards where we're going to see a lot more snow on just the next frame in what could be a pretty major snowstorm, actually. Now, we're taking a look at about, let's say 5 a.m. here on Friday, October 30th. Now, before I get into this, I did want to mention, if you are interested in Tropical Storm Zeta, we are going to be making a free post over on our Facebook page where you can check out what our current thoughts are on that storm. That's going to be in the description and the pinned comment down below. Now, back to our snowstorm here on the European model. This is about 5 a.m. like I said, and take a look at how widespread that moderate snowfall is by this point. Northern Pennsylvania, a lot of upstate New York and western New York, and through many areas throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, northern Connecticut. And I think this is a very plausible depiction of what could happen. We've seen many fall-time snowstorms actually shape up like this, so I actually think this is a very good projection of what could happen. That's why I picked it for this video. I think it's a great, accurate projection of what could happen. The thing you need to know as we're moving on is this could shift further south, further north. So don't be too confident in the location. Be more confident that these models are showing a storm. The location becomes a lot more pinpoint on days 3, 2, 1. Obviously, by day 1, we have a very good idea. So over the coming days, we're really going to just try to narrow down where we really think this one is going to hit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards 8 a.m. on Friday, October 30th, where the snow will actually get even more heavy, and then after that point, it's going to shift even further south as the storm comes to an end. Very interesting storm here that this model is projecting. And as you can see here, by the time we're reaching about 8 a.m., like I said, on Friday, again, yesterday I forgot to mention this until way later in the video. This is the day before Halloween, so this snow would be sticking around there for any Halloween activities. I don't really know how much there's going to be, but anyway, it will impact any type of Halloween plans you did have for all of these areas. So that's just something important to note, I would say. As you can see, actually some very heavy snowfall going on for New York. Most of Massachusetts by this point, the northern third of Connecticut, very beautiful area, as well as Rhode Island there. I love it. I love all of the New England states, actually, so I don't know why I'm specifically mentioning them, but I was actually thinking about all of my times I've spent in Connecticut before, just earlier this morning. Now, also, we can see southern New Hampshire, southern Vermont seeing some heavy snowfall. Maine kind of trying to get in on some of that. And then even northern and central portions of Pennsylvania as well there, and some of the lighter to moderate snowfall. Let's just take it to about 2 p.m. on Friday. And as you can see, pretty much everything is moving further south. We see that cold air really making its way into the area. So we're seeing that snowfall make its way further south into Pennsylvania, even some moderate to heavy snowfall going on there for central and northern Pennsylvania. A lot of New York by this point, pretty much with the exception of Long Island there. Everywhere in New York is seeing snowfall at this point. Connecticut getting more and more by this point. Rhode Island, even Providence is right on the fringe of being in the snowfall, I would say. Boston, same story. So most of Massachusetts. And then the southern halves of Vermont and New Hampshire there as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards about 8 p.m. on Friday night. And we're going to see that move even further south as it comes to an end. And then we're going to take a look at our total winds from the storm, because you saw the reds along the coast on the thumbnail. That's indicating some stronger winds I'm expecting. And then we're just going to get right into total snowfall from all of these models and even some more models that I'm going to show you guys as well. And here's by about 8 p.m. on Friday night, like I said, and take a look at how far south that snowfall has gone. The cold air is rapidly moving into the area. A lot of New Jersey, even Philadelphia may be getting in on some of that snowfall. I'm feeling quite doubtful about that actually, but possibly, I guess. Long Island, I'm still doubtful about that as well. With the water on all sides, I think it might be really hard to get down in those colder temperatures. But definitely northern Connecticut and northern Rhode Island. But this one's showing coastal regions, so we'll have to see if that plays out that way. In a lot of areas, even south of Boston, getting some snowfall. So yeah, very interesting to see this projection. New York City would actually get quite a bit of snow as well, potentially. Let's just move it to the very, very end here of our simulated radar. And this is going to be probably about 11 p.m. on Friday night, like I said, right before Halloween. And last minute, we see some light snowfall still going on for southern New England, especially here in some areas in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Long Island. Providence may be getting a little pocket of some heavier snowfall. These are the things that are too specific to really predict this far out, like that little pocket by Providence. That means nothing, because that could be set up, 100 miles or more north of that. I mean, we're 5 days out still. So we really need to take that with a grain of salt. It's more important to see that they are showing a snowstorm. And we can start kind of trying to pay attention to the location, but it doesn't mean too much at this point. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at the wind real quick, and then we're going to move on and take a look at the snowfall. So first off, here is our accumulated maximum wind gusts. So this means this is for the entire duration of the storm. And as you can see, a lot of 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts along the coast there from New Jersey, even the Delmarva up through Long Island, and even New England. I think Maine could get a little more than what this is projecting. That's why I put them in the red along the coast. So yeah, just some pretty moderate to strong winds along the coast, I would say, with this storm. It's a Miller B nor'easter technically, so it is technically a nor'easter, and we should see similar impacts to what you would expect with a nor'easter. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at the total snowfall according to our European model, our GFS model, our Icon model, which is one we don't use a lot, and then our two ensemble models as well. All right, now here's the total snowfall on our European model. Anywhere in the grays, you're at about a dusting to 2 inches, or I guess any snow falling out of the sky. Again, I mentioned this yesterday. This is not what's going to accumulate. This is what's going to fall out of the sky. So as we know, in most cases, probably about like 1 to 2 inches falls before it even starts to stick. So you're going to want to account for that, especially this time of year. The ground is a little warmer. The air is likely a little warmer, and all of those things. But really, I think the grays, it's unlikely that you see any accumulation. But the blues is where we start to see that. So anywhere in the blues, you're at about 2 to 6 inches of snow. So that's going to be for Providence, potentially more of the more inland areas of the suburbs of Boston there as well. Even in through coastal New Hampshire there, so Hampton. We see a lot of upstate New York and even northern Pennsylvania there as well. So we see a lot of blues going on, especially for the southern portions of the northern New England states as well, Vermont, New Hampshire. And as you get into the purples, we're taking a look at about 6 to 9 inches of snow. Again, you're going to want to subtract 1 or 2 inches off of that. And then in the pinks, that's where we're at about 9 to maybe even 12 inches of snow. We're going to need to take a look as we get closer. This could look a little lighter or a little even heavier. But either way, this is a more moderated amount, I would say. Some of the mountains, some of the Catskills there getting some of those pinks, so maybe 10 to 12, maybe even 14 inches on this model. Again, subtract a few. And then for the Berkshires, the Green Mountains, and even some of the more hilly regions there in central Massachusetts as well. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at our GFS model as well. As you can see, it has a pretty similar projection, but it's further east. A lot of those western Pennsylvania and New York regions getting practically nothing. but we still see a lot there for pretty similar regions for New England. Very interesting to see that occur and play out that way on this model. And as we can see here on our icon model, which is another kind of European model, it's from one of the European countries, I think Germany actually. And we can see that Pennsylvania, New York, and New England is getting a lot of snowfall here as well. So this is actually pretty similar to the European model. It's funny, they both come from Europe and they kind of agree. We just see a lot lighter amounts here. So these are the types of things that are going to vary quite a bit. And then our ensemble models, this is important. This is kind of all of the members put together. We see the lighter amounts here because it's a lot more moderated. There's a lot of members that show none, and then there's a lot of members that show a lot of snow, and it comes out averaging around a moderate amount of snow. That's how these work. So according to our European model, our European ensemble model, we see a lot of New England, these northern regions, getting quite a bit of snowfall, and as you can see, the GFS ensemble agrees quite a bit. This is important, and what this tells me is that these models are getting more and more confident that there will be snow of some sort, which should get you guys a little bit excited if you're looking forward to snow in these regions. I know a lot of comments yesterday were alluding to that, so the confidence is definitely increasing at this point. Now, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you think the snowstorm is even going to happen? And Zia Derv said, if conditions are right, there could be a snowstorm. I'm thinking there's a good chance of it happening. And I'm sure Zita agrees that today the confidence has increased quite a bit in this storm. But that was a good comment as of yesterday, for sure, by Zita Derv, who we've picked about 30 plus times for our comment of the day. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I'm going to just go through this. I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but let's get into our diamond patrons. Catbite, Alicia Davis, Rosemarie Haynes, Terry Curtis, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Madbirds, Kellen Manhart, Mariah Vieira, Dan Hazard, and Mark J. Wow. I'm going to need to start organizing these a little more so I don't miss any or double read any of them, but that's for a later date. For our platinum patrons, Adam S., Donna Carnes, Alan Belemo, Dovey Nagel, Cameron Marshall, and Larry LePan. Wow. Anyway, thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you would like to end up on this patron end screen, all you got to do is go join our Patreon page in the description and the pinned comment down below. Again, it's cheaper than a Happy Meal, so I would definitely do that. And all you got to do is check it out. You can cancel after 1 month, obviously. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.